All right. So, this is my Special Forces Season 2, Episode 1 review. And I was so hyped up for this, and it didn't disappoint. I was kind of bummed at the abduction. It was more of a highwayman type deal rather than the explosions and the impressiveness of the abduction last season. But so they start off driving down this one lane road through the mountains. And for those of you who didn't think New Zealand got cold, yeah, it gets cold there. Because they do have winter. And so they're driving through, and then they get abducted. I think it was Black China who was starting to cry. I think it was Angela who was starting to cry when when their heads were put in the sack and they were forced to come out. And even that Tara was having problems with. She kind of lost the person she was in front that was in front of her, and so she had to figure it out on her own. It's like, oh, that should have been a clue that this was not going to be a good time for her. And so they went through asking everyone their names. I was really expecting when Billy asked Tom why his face is familiar. He wouldn't just say reality TV. He would go into depth about Scandival. I really expected that. But no, he didn't. So that went basically off just fine. I didn't catch. I'm pretty sure that Angela gave the name Angela because she said Black China is a brand and that she's Angela. So I'm pretty sure that's the name she gave. They didn't go through everyone. I mean, they showed everyone's hood being removed, but they didn't, you didn't see them asking everyone who they are. So they were all given a number, and they were given clothes, and they had to strip. And of course, Tara, her zipper is stuck. And she raises her hands like, my zipper's stuck. And Rudy's like, yeah, get a recruit to help you because we're not babysitters. We're not here to help you. Which was kind of a dick move, but also, well, yeah. I mean, that's not their reason for being. They're not there to, I mean, it's bad enough, it's enough that they're going to be your amateur therapists in a few minutes, but so everyone, now this was even harder than what the first season recruits had to go through, because it's one thing to get undressed when it's hot as blazes outside because you're not freezing when you remove your clothes and put on others. However, these guys are stripped to their undies in below freezing temperatures. So, yeah, I would call that harder. So everyone gets dressed. And of course what they're wearing is different than what they were wearing the first season because this is meant to keep them warm. So they won't freeze to death. And so immediately they have their first challenge, which is to walk across the trapeze. And this time the person who is demonstrating it is cute. Now, it makes sense that he's also an American seal like Remy was, but I don't know. With the nickname Q, I was kind of hoping he was British, because that would have been just so much fun and so many James Bond jokes one could come up with. But anyway, so he showed, but you didn't see him going through, to the end, unless I somehow spaced out and missed it. But you didn't see him finish it. So, and he wasn't, I don't know, he didn't seem as sure of himself. Maybe Remy just has that stone face. But, anyway. Also, did these people not watch the first season? Because, like I said, Angelo started to seemingly cry. It's like, yeah, abduction is part of the deal here. So, did you not watch the last season? Or maybe you're so caught up in all of it that you just, don't think about the fact that, oh yeah, this is part of it. But anyway, so Tara is the first one up. And of course, by then they have their numbers. So Tara's the first one up. And she can't even untangle herself from the hook. And Billy is telling her how to do it, and she's still having issues. There was no way this girl is surviving. I mean, Hannah had issues, especially at the very beginning, but she wasn't that uncoordinated. She was just, not as strong and slower than everybody, but it wasn't that she was, completely, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say this to another human being, but useless in this environment. Because I'm sure in many aspects she's just fine, just not this one. Now, the reason she wants to be here is because she's being bullied online for her looks, because she doesn't look 18 anymore. And, and granted, social media sucks for this because people are assholes. Absolutely, people are assholes. But, when people bully you, the best way to deal with a bully is don't internalize what they're saying, because that says more about them than it does about you. So you just have to ignore them, or make a joke out of it, or turn it around on them. Like how many people make fun of other people's looks who don't have the guts to post their own picture, because they know that there'll be other people making fun of them. So just by putting your face out there, you are stronger than these bullies, because they are afraid to do the very thing that you're doing and getting criticized for, because they don't want other assholes to criticize them. They're admitting that they are not strong enough to handle the criticism that they're dishing out. But anyway, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. So, she goes first, and oh dear God, she's so not coordinated. She has the hardest time getting her feet up onto the beams. let alone walking. Which, yeah, that didn't last very long. And you could see it on everybody's face. They're like, oh boy, this is gonna suck. And, yeah, this is gonna be a tough season for this one, if she manages to make it very far. So, then we see a montage of people failing. And, so then we have, now I think they only showed 4 passes, but they claimed that there was 5. So either I missed it, and I'm looking at this review, and they missed it too. So it's probably not just me. They probably didn't show the 5th pass, which, that sucks. But anyway, the 4 that we know of is Savannah was first, and that's where we find out. Now, I've never heard of this woman before, and apparently her parents are in federal prison. I looked up why. For tax fraud. So, yeah, if she lasts long enough to be questioned by the staff, that's going to be fun. I'm pretty sure that in all their years of doing SAS, Who Dares Wins, I'm pretty sure they haven't heard that one. Anyway, so Savannah passed, Tom passed, which kind of surprised me. Bodie passed, which did not surprise me, and Des Bryant passed. Did they show Erin? They just kind of, like I said, she was part of a montage, so I'm assuming she failed. But I don't believe they said who the 5th pass was. I really don't think so. But anyway, while all this is going on, now this shows either Tara is very much a blonde and not as bright as Mel B, or just much more addicted to nicotine than Mel B, because Mel B smuggled in cigarettes and was never caught. So either the guys watched that, saw that she smuggled in cigarettes, and were more vigilant this time, or Tara was just, a lot less subtle about it. I mean, seriously, in the middle of an exercise, in the middle of the day, in front of everybody, you're looking for the cigarettes in your pants, in your cargo pants. Yeah, that's not going to. You don't think that they're not going to notice? I mean, I just don't know what to tell you here. So yeah, she doesn't strike me as very bright. She's obviously very much out of her element, so I'm going to give her a pass because, she's just like, I want to do this, I want to prove things to myself, but at the same time, oh boy. So anyway, so they finish the task, and so then they are told to run to the cars, and of course Tara is last. Oh, poor Tara. So, but she's doing it. She's hanging in there. She's not giving up, so that's good. And so they're in the car, and they're mocking staff, which I don't blame them. Angela, mocks them for talking about her attitude. I didn't think she was giving attitude. If you think that's giving attitude, oh my God, you haven't heard attitude. What the hell? I didn't think she was even doing that at that point. Anyway, so they all go back to their bunks. And well, before they get in their bunks, because they have to be introduced, they go into their bunks and they think, okay, we're done for the day. I'm sorry, a couple of them did see the first season. How did you think that this was you being done for the day? I'm very, very confused. These are not bright people. So, oh yes, and during when JoJo fell, they said, that's what you get for showing off. Because JoJo was having fun going down the ladder, which I have to admit, what the hell, JoJo? I mean, I get it, you were probably trying to relax yourself, but, yeah. Yeah, did you not watch the last season, when Gus did crazy things? That didn't sit well with them, at all. Only, unlike Gus, they still like you. With Gus, there was immediate hatred for him. I don't know, maybe it's a ingrained sexism that this, pretty blonde young girl, could probably get away with it because she's young, pretty, blonde. And Gus was none of those things. I don't know. But they still seem to like JoJo. So, after everyone gets back, they decide that they need to question JoJo, because first they're kind of mocking Tara, which, she was having serious issues. I mean, from the very beginning, she was having serious issues. So, and they were again talking about Angela's attitude. Like I said, at this point, I didn't think she was showing attitude. That came later, and it wasn't towards staff. But anyway, so they decide to question JoJo. And JoJo goes and tells staff, I did my first TV show when I was 9. I'm from the dance world. Then at 11, I did Dance Moms. And Jovan is like, wait, you did this whole thing with your mother? Yeah. And that this is their first time being away from her parents. So I get that that's gotta be hard. But, I don't know. I got the impression that Jovan actually heard of Dance Moms. I mean, probably never watched it. What little I've seen of him, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who would watch Dance Moms, but everyone is a guilty pleasure, so who knows. But this was also years ago, because like she said, she was 11. So, how this is the first adult thing that she's done, and she wants to prove to herself that, she can take this. But I just loved it that she mentioned about this experience, that that she's used to being yelled at because of Dance Moms. So this will either be a good experience, or it's going to unearth deep-seated trauma. So I love her attitude. I really do, because to be so nonchalant about talking about trauma about being yelled at when you're 11. So, they tell her, you're doing great, you have great potential, but stop having fun. Be a bit more serious here. So she goes, has her cry, which she says that she gives herself a timer so she can have her cry and be sad, and then she's back to happy-go-lucky JoJo. So, then they decide to have them come out after everybody thinks, like I said, they think that they're done for the day. It's like, now I know that there were a couple of them, 2 or 3 of them who have seen season 1. What was about season 1 that screamed, "You're done at dinner time"? I just don't know where you're getting this from. So they go out into the yard and they all have to grab a rock and hold it above their head for 30 seconds. And Foxy, who I just love his humor, pointed out that they look at the size of the rock, the size matters, and he has this big smile on his face because he knows damn well what that sounds like. And I was laughing so hard at that. So, Tara is again having so much problems. Now, granted, she's not holding it above her head completely, but she is holding it above her head. It's just that her arms aren't completely straight. But she's still doing it as far as I'm concerned. She's still doing, just she can't get it above her, completely straight, her arms straight above her head. But she's still holding the rock. She's still holding it up. So I was quite impressed with that. I mean, to do what she was doing was actually harder probably than just holding it up. But anyway. So after that, they have to run around and do exercises with the damn rock. And you hear Jack Osbourne's like, oh good, he's going to be the cocky son of a bitch. Saying how, oh yeah, I watched the first season and, all those missions looked easy. It's like, what? I mean, I get it that he's confident in himself, but dude, everything looked easy. I mean, granted, there were certain things that they did that I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that, like holding your breath for 20 seconds underwater. It's like, that's a challenge? Okay. So I will say that, yeah, that's one, but none of them? Obviously, this was before he actually did any challenge, because I'm pretty sure he's one of those who failed walking across the trapeze. So, so they're doing their exercises, and you see, while he's being cocky SOB and saying how, oh, all those challenges looked easy, and he's struggling carrying the rock and trying to run and do all that. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that his thinking that everything was easy went by the wayside real quick. So I don't think his cockiness is going to last very long. But this is Jack Osbourne, so maybe it will. Maybe he won't have self-awareness, but here's hoping. So they finish off, and then the staff is like, okay, go away. We don't want to see you anymore. Go away. We don't want to see you. Bye. And as everyone's running, I really thought that it would be an instance where Tara is gonna, they're going to count down and they're gonna still see Tara because she's that far behind. But no. she got her shit together at this point. Des, on the other hand, started vomiting. And that tells you just how intense this is. I mean, I realize he's been retired for a couple of years, but you can see the man is still in shape. So, yeah, I was... That was definitely very intense. So then they all staff huddle and they talk about, okay, Tara is having problems. Let's talk to her. So they call Tara, and so she wants to be quick. She goes there and she's not wearing her pants. And Q is like, "Where's your pants? Go get your pants." And so she falls down running back to get her pants. I mean, I'm laughing, but I do feel for this woman. I mean, she really, really, really wants to prove herself. And just like Hannah, I think right now she's trying to... Oh no, it wasn't Hannah, it was Beverly. She's just trying too damn hard at this point. It's like, calm down. Take a breath. Yes, speed is of the essence, but, within reason. Like, put on your pants. So, she comes in, and, she explains what I mentioned, that, she wants to show the bullies, and, she wants to show the bullies that, she's strong and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, ignore the bullies? Of course, I'm unusual. People make fun of my looks all the time and the fact that I'm fat. And, even when I was thin, I never thought I was attractive. So people can make fun of my looks all they want. It's not going to affect me because you're not telling me anything I don't already know. So, but as she's, talking about how, the bullies are going after her because she doesn't look 18 anymore, she's 47. The woman is there, not wearing makeup. And how do I know she's not wearing makeup? When you see her in her interviews, she has eyebrows. She does not have eyebrows during the actual challenge. So, she was obviously not wearing makeup. So, as much as she wants to be able to show her bullies up, she's also confident enough not to wear makeup. So, kudos to her. I mean, does she look weird without eyebrows? Everybody looks weird without eyebrows. I mean, of course she looks weird. But I respect that she's going without eyebrows. So, while all that is happening, Brian and Angela are continuing their little bit of a tiff. Because earlier, she put a blanket over herself, and he's like, "What do you need a blanket for?" And she's like, "What, are you hot?" See, this is where the attitude is coming. Not earlier. Now she's showing attitude, and Brian totally deserves it because he's being a dick. So, there was that. And then he was like accusing her of giving him dirty looks. And she's like, "Are you playing?" Or are you serious? And he's like, I'm always playing. I'm never serious. Which, on the one hand, it's awesome that he's not being serious. But on the other hand, really, that is how you're trying to be funny? Now, granted, he did say he likes to poke and prod and be a pain in the ass. But are you really looking to get your ass beat? I mean, dude, I'm surprised no one came to Angela's defense. They were all acting like, you know, JoJo's asking Brian if he's okay. Everyone's like, Savannah's like, what just happened? As if she's the problem. Dude, he accused her of giving him dirty looks, which she's just joking around. And because she didn't like it, somehow she's the problem? No. No, I mean, yeah, she gave him plenty of attitude, but he deserved it. So, yeah, that was just bizarre. I'm like, does nobody in this cast have empathy whatsoever? I mean, what's happening right now? Because that was just weird. So let me see if there's anything else. Now, and then Angela goes out and has a cry. So hopefully that will, that she'll feel better after the cry, because she's obviously very wound up from the day. First, the trauma of being abducted. Then she had all sorts of issues with the challenge, and being accused of having attitude when she wasn't even showing attitude at that point. So, yeah, she's having, she's not having a good time either, but hopefully she had a cry, she'll get a good night's sleep, and she'll be fine in the morning, because so far nobody has quit and nobody's been medically evacuated. Now, two things that either they edited it out and we just didn't see it, but they didn't talk about buddies. That you have your buddy. They didn't mention when they said that the only two ways of leaving are to remove your armband and tell one of staff. They never said that there's a designated person. Last year it was different people, but they started with number 2. And that they were the ones who had to get staff's attention. We did not see that. We didn't see them talking about having buddies. So either they've changed that for this season, or they just edited it out. Because, let's face it, you can get medically evacuated. So, whereas what they said was, you're leaving in a wood box. Which, last season that kind of annoyed me, because it was like, yeah, nobody's going to let a celebrity die. But this season I'm just finding it hella amusing, because again, they're not going to let a celebrity die. So that's why they have the safety harnesses, because they don't want anyone to die. So, yeah, that's how this episode ended. So, we had an episode last season where it started off with someone deciding, like Jamie Lynn Spears, deciding, okay, I miss my babies, I'm gone. So technically it was still the first day. It was just on the first few seconds of episode 2. So unless something like that happens, and I'm pretty sure we saw in the trailers, we definitely saw Angela later on, so she's not going to quit yet. We saw, I think we saw Tara later on too, so I'm assuming she's gonna stick it out. I mean, this could turn into a Beverly Mitchell type situation. Maybe not going all the way to the end, but not, going maybe about halfway. Basically, the only reason Beverly was evacuated was medical. She was dehydrated, she was feeling dizzy, and she totally did not want to be evacuated. So it could be a situation like that, or, maybe she'll go all the way, or maybe in a couple of episodes she'll be like, okay, that's it. Who knows? Those are the only two that I'm questioning. Everyone else seems to be content. There's nobody who's being cocky except for Jack. But that was, like I said, probably before he started doing the missions. So, but yeah, because there's 14, we didn't see everybody. There are certain people whose faces I don't think they showed. So, and then there were some who, as I said, did a montage of. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens next episode and for how long we're going to have 14 celebrities. I didn't see. Oh, excuse me. I didn't see a episode description for episode 2. So I have no idea what's coming up, because the preview that they showed at the end of episode 1 was just, this is what's going to be happening this season. So it wasn't specific to next week. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens, because now I am excited to see how far Tom goes. Not so much because I know Scandival. Anybody who's watched my Stars on Mars reviews knows that I've never heard of these people before until Stars on Mars, and I started hearing a little bit about Scandival. But I'm interested because, number one, he passed this first one. Plus, he said he wants to be punished. So it sounds like he's, okay, I did this bad thing, so I want to do penance type thing. It's very bizarre. So he intrigues me. I'm very curious how this happens. Let's see. I'm always interested in how the athletes do, because, well, they're athletes. Robert doesn't seem to have the attitude that, oh God, who was it? The basketball player from season 1, I'm blanking. He doesn't have that. He seems to be more down to earth, so I just love it. They were all applauding, trying to get each other, to bring each other up, And the staff was like, stop it. Don't applaud. So Robert's like, yay, golf clap. So I'm there's really nobody that I'm disliking except for Brian right now. I mean, really, you pride yourself on being a pain in the ass? What is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. I would have thought that, being the product of 90210 would have, taught him not to be that, but okay, whatever. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can ramble about. I think I've covered everything. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video.